Today we're discussing meningitis, one of the most critical neurologic infections nurses encounter. In this lecture, we'll break down the pathophysiology, major assessment findings, diagnostics, emergency treatment, and high-yield nursing interventions needed to recognize and manage meningitis quickly and safely. Neurologic infections require rapid assessment and aggressive intervention because deterioration can happen fast. Meningitis is one of several infectious neurologic disorders, along with encephalitis, brain abscesses, and prion diseases like CJD. Nurses are responsible not only for acute stabilization, but also for monitoring neurologic status, supporting families, preventing complications, and helping guide long-term recovery. Meningitis is inflammation of the meninges surrounding the brain and spinal cord. The two major categories are bacterial, also called septic meningitis, and viral, or aseptic meningitis. Bacterial meningitis is usually more severe and is most commonly caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae and Neisseria meningitidis. Viral meningitis is often caused by Enteroviruses and is generally less severe, although it can still become serious in immunocompromised patients. A high yield point for NCLEX is remembering the seasonal trends. Bacterial meningitis is more common in winter and early spring, while viral meningitis peaks in summer and early fall. Meningitis transmission is heavily influenced by both anatomy and environment. Upper respiratory infections, otitis media, mastoiditis, and sinus infections can all create pathways for organisms to spread toward the meninges. Crowded living conditions, like dormitories and military barracks, significantly increase transmission risk, especially in unvaccinated individuals. Immunocompromised patients are also at much higher risk for severe infection. Meningitis begins when organisms invade the bloodstream or directly enter through trauma or invasive procedures. The pathogen then crosses the blood-brain barrier and rapidly multiplies within the CSF. The major problem is the intense inflammatory response that follows. Because the skull is a closed space, swelling and inflammatory debris dramatically increase intracranial pressure, which can quickly lead to seizures, decreased cerebral perfusion, herniation, and death if not treated rapidly. The classic meningitis presentation includes high fever, severe headache, photophobia, and nuchal rigidity. As ICP rises, neurologic symptoms worsen and may progress to confusion, lethargy, seizures, and coma. A major NCLEX pearl is recognizing the meningococcal rash. Petechial or purpuric lesions in a febrile patient should immediately raise concern for meningococcal meningitis and possible septic shock. These are two classic bedside signs of meningeal irritation. With Koenig sign, the patient experiences pain or resistance when the knee is extended while the hip is flexed. With Radzinski sign, flexing the neck causes involuntary flexion of the hips and knees. Now remember, these findings can support suspicion for meningitis, but their absence does not rule it out. This is one of the most catastrophic complications of meningococcal meningitis. Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome causes overwhelming sepsis, adrenal hemorrhage, DIC, and profound circulatory collapse. Patients can deteriorate extremely fast, sometimes within hours. An NCLEX pearl here is recognizing the combination of fever, purpuric rash, hypotension, and shock as a true medical emergency requiring immediate antibiotics, aggressive fluids, vasopressors, and ICU-level care. The lumbar puncture is the key diagnostic test for meningitis, but patient safety comes first. If the patient has altered LOC, papilledema, seizures, focal deficits, or immunocompromised status, a CT scan must be done before the LP to reduce the risk of brain herniation. After LP, CSF analysis helps identify the organism through gram stain, culture, glucose, protein, and cell count analysis. Throughout the entire process, nurses continuously monitor for rising ICP, worsening neurologic status, and signs of deterioration. Management of bacterial meningitis is a race against time. Priority 1 is immediate IV antibiotics that can rapidly cross the blood-brain barrier. Delays in treatment significantly increase mortality risk. Priority 2 is dexamethasone, which should be given before or with the first antibiotic dose to reduce inflammatory damage and neurologic complications. Then we move into systemic support, careful fluid resuscitation, seizure management, and ICP control, while continuously monitoring neurologic status. Prevention is one of the biggest success stories in meningitis care. Vaccination against meningococcal, pneumococcal, and H. influenza organisms has dramatically reduced severe infections. For close contacts, rapid chemoprophylaxis is critical and should ideally begin within 24 hours of exposure. And clinically, early recognition combined with strict droplet precautions helps prevent rapid spread within healthcare and community settings. Nursing management focuses heavily on infection control, symptom reduction, and neurologic protection. Droplet precautions are maintained until the patient has received at least 24 hours of effective IV antibiotics. Patients often require a dark, quiet environment because photophobia and meningeal irritation can be severe. Nurses also aggressively manage fever, hydration, pain, and respiratory status while closely monitoring for worsening ICP, seizures, or declining airway protection. In meningitis, deterioration can happen very quickly, so neurologic monitoring becomes a priority nursing responsibility. Frequent neurochecks focus on level of consciousness, pupil response, cranial nerve function, and early signs of rising ICP. At the same time, nurses continuously monitor oxygenation, blood pressure, and perfusion because systemic shock can develop rapidly in severe infections. A subtle change in mental status is never something we ignore in these patients. Meningitis care extends far beyond the individual patient. Families often require immediate emotional support, especially during severe illness or ICU-level care. Education is also critical. Teaching families to recognize warning signs, understand follow-up care, and reinforce adherence to treatment and vaccination recommendations. And from a public health perspective, infection control and vaccination awareness remain essential in preventing outbreaks. This slide brings the entire clinical sequence together. First, recognize the classic presentation and immediately initiate droplet precautions. Next comes diagnostic evaluation, with herniation risk assessment, CT if indicated, lumbar puncture, and blood cultures. Then comes the golden hour intervention, dexamethasone and rapid IV antibiotics. Finally, stabilization focuses on neurologic surveillance, seizure and fluid management, environmental control, and ongoing patient and family education. In meningitis, rapid recognition and rapid intervention save lives. Meningitis is a neurologic emergency that requires rapid recognition, strict infection control, and aggressive intervention. Nurses must immediately identify the classic findings of severe headache, fever, nuchal rigidity, and photophobia, while also monitoring for declining level of consciousness, seizures, petechial rash, and signs of rising intracranial pressure. Early neurodeterioration can occur quickly, so frequent neurochecks and continuous assessment are critical. Priority nursing actions include initiating droplet precautions immediately, obtaining cultures as ordered, administering IV antibiotics without delay, and ensuring dexamethasone is given before or with the first antibiotic dose when indicated. Nurses also play a major role in supportive care by maintaining a dark, quiet environment, controlling fever and pain, managing hydration carefully, and preparing for airway or seizure emergencies if neurologic status worsens. Ongoing nursing surveillance focuses on detecting complications such as shock, seizures, respiratory compromise, and increased ICP. Education is also essential, including reinforcement of vaccination importance, infection prevention, and the need for rapid treatment of suspected meningitis symptoms.